Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat
Hare Krishna
Pranam.
Mataji, Pranam.
Dandavad
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna
Dandavad Pranam. Let's start.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Dandavad Pranam, Hare Krishna. Let's start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Jeva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayavdhirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 24, verse number 43. Shakti Traya Sametaya Midhushe Ahankritatmane Chetakuti Rupaya Namo Vacho Vibhutaye. Shakti Traya Sametaya Midhushe Ahankritatmane Cheta Akuti Rupaya Namo Vacho Vibhutaye. Shakti Traye, 3 kinds of energies. Sametai, onto the reservoir. Midhushe, onto Rudra. Ahankrita Atmane, the source of egoism. Chetaha, knowledge. Akuti, eagerness to work. Rupaye, onto the form of. Namaha, my obeisances. Vachaha, onto the sound. Vibhutaye, onto the different types of opulences. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear Lord, you are the supreme controller of the worker, sense activities, and results of sense activities, karma. Therefore, you are the controller of the body, mind, and senses. You are also the supreme controller of egoism, known as Rudra. You are the source of knowledge and the activities of the Vedic injunctions. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada Ki Jai. Everyone acts under the dictation of the ego. Therefore, Lord Shiva is trying to purify false egotism through the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since Lord Shiva or Rudra is himself the controller of egotism, he indirectly wants to be purified by the mercy of the Lord so that his real egotism can be awakened. Of course, Lord Rudra is always spiritually awake, but for our benefit, he is praying in this way. For the impersonalist, pure egotism is Aham Brahmasmi. I am not this body, I am spirit soul. But in its actual position, the spirit soul has devotional activities to perform. Therefore, Lord Shiva prays to be engaged both in mind and in action in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord, according to the direction of the Vedas. This is the process of purifying false egotism. Chetaha means knowledge. Without perfect knowledge, one cannot act perfectly. The real source of knowledge is Vachaha, or sound vibration, given by Vedic instructions. Here the word Vachaha, or vibration, means the Vedic vibration. The origin of creation is sound vibration. And if the sound vibration is clear and purified, perfect knowledge and perfect activities actually become manifest. This is enacted by the chanting of the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thus, Lord Shiva is praying again and again for the purification of body, mind, and activities through the purification of knowledge and action under the pure direction of the Vedas. Lord Shiva prays to the Supreme Personality of Godhead so that his mind, senses, and words will all turn towards devotional activities only. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjan Chalakaya Takshirunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namastite Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishbhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priyai. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine My dear Lord, you are the supreme controller of the worker, sense activities, and the results of sense activities, karma. Therefore, you are the controller of the body, mind, and senses. You are also the supreme controller of egotism, known as Rudra. You are the source of knowledge and the activities of the Vedic injunctions. Okay, let's orient ourselves. What is the name of the chapter? Who is speaking to who?
Chanting the song sung by Lord
Chanting the
Shiva.
song sung by Lord
And
Shiva.
here
Okay.
The Gita.
Lord Shiva is singing the Rudra, praising the Lord.
Lord Shiva
To
is?
the Supreme Person,
Lord Shiva is teaching this prayer to who?
to Prachetas.
Prachetas.
Prachetas are the sons of?
Prachina Barhi.
Prachina Barihis.
Very nice. And so far, we have studied that Lord Shiva has prayed to. What are his prayers so far?
He has prayed to Aniruddha, Sankarshan,
Vasyumna and Vasudeva.
Sankarshan as the presiding deities of the subtle body and the gross body. And also, so subtle body is, what is a subtle body? What did he pray to? What is our subtle body?
mind, intelligence, and ahankar.
Mind,
Very
intelligence,
nice.
and false ego.
And who is the presiding deity of the false ego?
Aniruddha.
Ahankar?
Aniruddha.
Aniruddha.
No. That's the presiding deity of the mind.
Sankarsana.
Sankarshan, very nice. Sankarshan. Aniruddha is the presiding deity of mind. Okay, that gives me. Who is the presiding deity of intelligence?
Krishna.
Huh?
Vasyumna.
Very nice. And who is the presiding deity of consciousness? Chitta. Vasudeva.
Vasudeva.
Deva.
Vasudeva. Very nice.
Sudeva.
All right. So then, and then he went on to pray the gross elements. What are the gross elements which make up the body?
Earth, water,
Earth, water, fire,
water, fire,
Air.
and ether.
Very nice. And then from that was till verse number 40. Then verse number 41 and 42, he's praying to Krishna as the giver. Giver of what? What did you study yesterday? Krishna is the giver of? What did you study?
Integration, disintegration, then Shabda.
Okay. It's a giver of, instigator of dharma, giver of results of worshipping the pitras, giver of results of irreligious activities, giver of death and miseries, topmost of the benedictors. He's a source of manu, manave, perfection of all kinds of mantras, and cause of all causes, karanat mane. In this particular verse, the meditation is that he is praying. Let's go by the verse. Shakti Traya Sametaya. 3 kinds of energies. Reservoir of 3 kinds of energies. The 3 kinds of energies are Adhyatmik, Adibhautik, and Adidevik. So Adidevik is Devatas. Adhyatmik is senses. And Adibhautik is elements. Okay, which our body is made of. So Krishna, you are the reservoir of 3 kinds of energies. Just worshipping Krishna like that. And Midhu say ahankritatmane, the source of egotism. Now the Prabhupada is translating ahankritatmane as source of egotism. He's not saying false ego. He's saying source of ego. So what does ego mean? Not the prefix false or true. What is the literal meaning of the word ego?
It's identification.
Krishna is the source of,
Something which is not there.
that's Maya, right? That's ego.
Identification.
Self, wrong identification.
False identification is false ego.
No,
True
no.
identification
Ego
is
and the
true ego.
True
False
identification.
identification.
True identification.
What is ego?
True identification, that
True
In
identification.
my room.
Self, pride.
self-pride.
Ego, you see, we have to read here.
No,
Thank you.
true identification.
Ego, the word ego in the Shastras means identity. Just identity. The literal meaning of the word is identity. Now, if the word false is added, then it's a false identity. And if the prefix true is added, then it's true identity. But the word ego literally means, otherwise, how can Krishna be a source of something which is not of importance? Midhu say ahankritatmane, and this is Lord Shiva praying. So, source of egotism. And Prabhupada writes it in the in the purport. Lord Shiva is trying to purify false egotism to the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is a controller of egotism. He indirectly wants to be purified of the Lord so that his real egotism can be awakened. Okay, so it's not that the ego is bad, but false ego is contrary to our progress in any sphere of life, material or spiritual. Chetta akuti rupaya. Chetta akuti rupaya means form of knowledge and action. Chetta means knowledge. Okay, and akuti means work or karma. So Krishna is a reservoir of that knowledge. And namo vacho vibhutaya. If one has to get proper knowledge, then one has to do what? What is the purport saying? If one has to get proper knowledge, then one has to
Work.
you're not reading. And you're not listening.
Surrender to Lord Krishna.
Source of knowledge should be perfect.
Obeisance. One has to do obeisance.
Chetta
Vacha
means
is the-
knowledge. Without perfect knowledge, one cannot act perfectly. The real source of knowledge is vachaha or sound vibration, given by Vedic instructions. Therefore, vachaha or vibration means Vedic vibration. So if one has to get proper knowledge, one has to hear right words. Because if we don't, Prabhupada writes here, the origin of creation is sound vibration. And if the sound vibration is clear and purified, perfect knowledge and perfect activities will actually become manifest.
Non-defective words.
Indirectly, it's always from gross to subtle. And the material world or the material civilization or material knowledge takes us from more gross. Actually, discovering that one has to go more subtle. You know, this internet and television and radio transmission, we can't see those waves, but they are powerful. Right? They're powerful. They take message across the globe, actually across the planets, right? But we can't see them. So it's always the subtle energy is more powerful. Krishna has manifested more power in the subtle energy. And from subtle energy, if our association with the subtle energy, which in this case is sound vibration, is proper, then the gross energy will be, the gross manifestation of the energy will be perfect. We'll have perfect knowledge, perfect activities, and it will be clear and purified. Okay, and this is enacted by chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So in this particular verse, Lord Shiva, again, let's see, is praying for the purification of body, senses, mind. Right? This is what he's praying. Mind, senses, and words. Sorry. So mind, senses, words. So how is he praying for the mind? All right. Okay. So how is he praying for the mind? How is he praying for the senses? And how is he praying for the words? How is he praying in this particular? Now gather yourself. I gave a jest.
All should be all should be given. All should be used for devotional service.
Yes, but see, principle-based answer is good, but we are going in more detail here. Okay, one must be able to explain what Lord Shiva is saying in his words. So mind, words, and senses. So association with the right kind of vibration which is pure, which is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, will manifest, what? What will happen? Yes, what according to this particular translation, if we are associating with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the pure way, then what is going to happen? What is the result?
Perfect knowledge, perfect
Very
activities.
nice. So perfect knowledge will lead to
Perfect
perfect
activity.
activity. And perfect knowledge will also lead to
Perfect mind
and very
and
nice.
activities.
And the true egotism. I'm
False
actually indeed, it's not it, okay, I'm spirit soul. Okay, that's partial realization. Full realization is what? Okay, partial realization is okay, I'm not the body, I'm the spirit soul. But what is the full realization?
That I am a part and parcel of Supreme Lord.
And go further.
Eternal servant.
Eternal servant of the
Okay,
Lord.
and so okay, then and very nice. And
Everything is emanated from Krishna. Creation,
And-
everything.
so what's the application? What's the prayojan? What's the application?
Surrender unto God.
But
What is the
Mahamantra.
application? That's a process. What's the application?
By,
Application Mahamantra Mataji. Chanting.
Okay,
by chanting Mahamantra,
Chanting
see
of
all
Mahamantra.
these verses
engage
in
in devotional
itself.
service. Engage in
What
devotional
is-
service.
Very nice. Thank you very much. Application is engagement in devotional service. Engagement. Okay, by engaging, our senses and our mind will in turn become more purified. The mind and senses are not just going to be purified by knowing this theoretically, that I'm not the body, I'm the soul. One needs to have engagement in that process. These elements of our existence are seeking activity. And if we can't engage them in an activity, the sheer knowledge in the paper is not going to last long. If you ask any devotee who's been around for so long, they are just not chanting Hare Krishna. Or you observe the devotees who have been there for a long time, like so many years they have been like sincerely there. Are they just chanting Hare Krishna? Or have they actually brought something to the devotional service? They have to actually done something for Krishna. May not be so big, Krishna doesn't care big or small. Krishna doesn't care what is the designation of a person, but Krishna does care about the sincerity of the heart. I don't know where I was reading. Where was I reading? I don't know. I don't remember, but I was reading recently that Srila Prabhupada, when he was staying in Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan, he used to see this widow Mataji who would go with the earthen pot to Yamuna every morning to get just a pot full of Yamuna water for the bathing of the deities. Just that much.
Yeah.
And then Prabhupada said that this devotee, she is a pure devotee. She's going back to Krishna because she has understood that engagement in service of Krishna is her constitutional position, and without fail, it's so little. Can you give me some examples where apparently the devotee did not offer huge things, but Krishna got happy with the little because there was so much love. The love was so condensed in that little service that Krishna was like, okay, I'm taking this devotee.
Shabri
Sudama
Mataji.
Mataji. Sudama.
Shabri.
Dama, okay. Shabri, okay. Huh? Kulavecha Sridhara, okay. Huh? Who else? Huh? Shabri, yeah, Shabri, okay. And who else? Yes. Do you remember Vidura's wife when Krishna came to the
Yes.
house?
Yes.
What was she doing?
She offered banana
Peel the
peels.
banana and gave the peels to him.
Yeah, she offered the peels of banana and Krishna was eating it. He never said, okay, mother, you are giving me the skin of banana, not the banana itself. But she was eating it. He was eating it. And then He took it, he because he was eating the love of the devotee. Okay, so important. The purification of the mind, because our mind has a huge field of activity. The body can have a limited. We can measure our field of activity with our body and senses. We can measure, right? We can only walk from this place to that place. I can measure my perimeter of what I can do with this body. Or can I do everything? Can I go under the sea? Can I go up in the air? Can I fly like a bird? Can I, go to Mars with this body without any required changes or adaptations? Or can I just go on the Mount Everest? Can I, sitting wherever you're sitting, go thousands and thousands of miles away and be there? Can we do that?
No,
Yeah,
Mataji.
can we do that?
No. No, Mataji.
But so the field of activity for the mind is huge, huge. One has to understand that. So with mind, we can do so many things in the mind. There's so many places and avenues the mind can go. Prabhupada explains in third canto, where mind, okay, you're sitting in your room and then you can actually reach to another place which is known to you, let's say 7 seas away, and you can enter your room and in that particular place, enter the house, enter the room, enter the cupboard, already there. A body, if I have to take a body so far away, then I have to do so much work. You need a visa, you need a passport, you need, I don't know what vacation, you need money to buy ticket, you need so many things. But with mind already there, especially for people who have families overseas, then they can relate to what I'm saying. Already there with their family members. Or wherever you're sitting, your mind can already go to Radha Govinda in Bangalore. And you don't need to actually physically get up and do something. So the field of activity of the mind is huge. So the purification of that field of activity or the avenues that the mind is exploring in this life is very mandatory. And that is why this prayer is so essential. Because if the mind is the center of the senses, right? It's called Shashta Indriyani, sixth sense. The mind is the center. The mind directs the eyes, look there, nose, smell there. So it's not a small thing. And if I can control the huge thing and then fill it up with service of Krishna, with a lot of work, not just mechanical service. Mechanical service, Prabhupada gives example in the material world, a person is working in their office or wherever. It's not that there is a relationship between the boss and the employee. No, the relationship is of the money. If the employee doesn't get money, then they leave, they go to another job. If the boss doesn't get the result, then they fire the employee. So there is no love there. Or is there? Is there love there?
No.
Or is there transaction there?
Only transaction.
The transactional. So, but that's not what Krishna consciousness is about. Krishna consciousness is about that I'm there, Krishna is there, and then there's love in between. If Krishna is not hungry for anything that we have nothing. If you read 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahma Vimoha Leela, when Brahma comes back after putting Krishna's friends and animals in mystic sleep, he comes back to see the fun, and he sees that everything is as it is. Then Krishna reveals him that they're actually his personal expansion. It's not like expansion of the plenary expansion, but personal expansion. All those gopas and animals and Prabhupada, and then Brahma becomes very bewildered. How is it possible? How is it possible? And then Prabhupada gives 2 examples to explain Brahma's yogic power in front of Krishna. What is that? What are the 2 examples? What are the 2 similes or allegories that Prabhupada writes in that chapter? Yes, Rupa Mataji is expert in Krishna book. I think she is reading it like 3rd or 4th time with from Monday to Thursday every day.
Glowworm in sunlight.
Very nice. And what else? Very nice. And snow in the dark. So glowworm in the sunlight. So glowworm glows some light in the dark. You can produce some light in the dark, but as soon as the sun comes out, that glowworm's light is nothing. Or snow in the sunshine can appear very shiny, but as soon as the sun goes down, the snow loses its shine. So basically, our mystic power, our achievements, our riches, whatever we have, first of all, it is by the grace of Krishna. And Krishna consciousness is about offering it back to Krishna with love. That is perfection. Not having a thing is a perfection, but how do we actually offer it back to Krishna with love is a perfection of life. Okay, and second of all, it's nothing. Can't do anything. Even if I take myself completely to Krishna, he's still so full. So what is it that Krishna really wants? Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Yes, Surekha Mataji, what is the
Yo me
verse?
bhaktya prayachati
Prayachati.
tadaham bhakti pariyutam ashnami prayatatmana.
Yes, so what is the key word on that verse? What's the key word?
Bhaktya, it has comprised.
What verse is this? 9, 16 or what is it?
9:26, Mataji.
26.
9:20. So yeah, the key word, thank you. So the key word is, what is the key word? Is the key word a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water? Or what is the key word? She said that.
Bhaktya.
Yeah.
Bhaktya.
Bhaktya. Bhaktya means with bhakti, or Prabhupada is actually translating it as with bhakti and love. So leaf, flower, fruit, and water is not important. What's important is, do I have love and devotion in it? And I cannot have love and devotion for anybody unless and until I know that person. Right? Can you have love? Yeah, we can have one kind of love, okay, out of the compassion. It's more of a compassion, not love. Because love is deep. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Srila Prabhupada, and Rupa Goswami Prabhupada explains the definition of love according to the Shastras is to serve. You have to serve. You have to make a move, like engage in some service, like mother's love for a child. She's always, trying to find out, how do I take care of my child in the best possible way? And I have seen, in that way, I like my profession because you get to see it every day. I've seen children who have basically nothing. There's nothing in them. It's like they're just like hanging by a thin thread in this world. They can't breathe on their own. They are on trach. They have tracheostomy. They have ventilators. They can't make any move. They're cortically. They're blind. They can't even say a word. But the way the mother takes care of the child, like if you look at that child from the eye of the mother of that child has so much value. If you just look at that person or that child, or that from our perspective, from where we stand, it looks like, what is this kind of a life? But if you look at it from the eye of that mother of the same child, it's like, oh, this child is so precious, because the mother is making it valuable. So similarly, if I look at my life through the eyes of Krishna, it's so valuable. If I look at my my assets, my intelligence, or my activity from the eye of Krishna, it's so important, because I'm so important to Krishna. Each one of us are important to Krishna. But if I just look at it like that, so what's so glorious? Eating, what's so glorious? Earning money, going here and there, living here. What's so glorious? All this, I see that somebody was telling me the other day at work that there are so many people who do what is it called as, that make their day-to-day activity videos, look at my life from morning to night. There's something called as like
Mataji. Bloggers, Mataji. Yeah, blogger. Yeah.
Blogger. Yeah.
Blogger.
Okay, thank you. So okay, look at my life. I'm like, how I get up, where I sleep, what I eat, what I work as, what do I dress at. So what's so glorious? What's so glorious? It's not glorious unless and until it is done through the eye of Krishna. The eye of Krishna. And if we can, how do we get that vision from Krishna? Unless and until there is no love. And the love cannot be, Prabhupada explains love is deep. It's not like superficial. There can be superficial connection, But that superficial connection can be based on just a superficial need. Okay, there's a need for, what example should I give? Well, for this employer and employee, there's so many best employee awards, or this award or that award, right? So, okay, but that's based on one particular need, that, okay, you have fulfilled the need of this particular role at work to be able to do this. So we are giving you this appreciation. I'm not saying that's bad, but recognize that what is the depth of what thing in our life. So in that particular way, it's not so deep because it doesn't have any eternal value. Yes, it does fan the false ego. If one is not deeply rooted in Krishna consciousness, then it does fan the false ego. Even though externally the person may say that, oh, I was just doing my duty, I was just doing that, no. Person is, if it is not Krishna conscious, if the person is not in Krishna consciousness, that person's ego does multiply a lot, because they do want to do it more. And they want to do it more because the driving factor is that this place is recognizing me more. So there's no Krishna factor. So subtle. Okay, then that work itself becomes a Maya for that person. We all have our own Maya. Each one of us have our own Maya in that way. And we have to recognize, where is my Maya sitting? Okay, in what form is it coming? But if somebody is in Krishna consciousness, then the love is more deep, because the whole day, the whole night is aimed to become more and more engaged in the activities of Krishna consciousness. It's not mechanical. It's not looking for a recognition. There are so many acharyas in our sampradaya, like Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. He was sitting near the public restroom so that the so-called Ashirvad business people are not going to bother him, so he can chant the holy name. Not looking for any kind of recognition. And then we have, who else? Can you give example? Haridas Thakur. So Haridas Thakur was born in a Mohammedan family. And because he was born in Mohammedan family, he never went to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he thought that my going to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be a disrespect, because I'm so low, because I'm born in such low environment. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew who Haridas Thakur is, so he would come to him. Right? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Bengal, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to Haridas Thakur himself. He would walk. So he did not, Haridas Thakur was not looking that, he wasn't like going around and saying, you see how much Krishna conscious I am? You see the number of beats? Come, I'll teach you how to chant properly. No, it was just silently doing. But he became glorified because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made him glorified. The other day we were reading Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Adi Leela chapter 10, where the branches and sub-branches of the devotional tree are described. So I had to give class on Vriksheshwara Pandit. Vriksheshwara Pandit is a dancer, right? He's a dancer and he's a singer, and he could actually, once he danced continuously for 72 hours in Harinam, continuously. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, can you please call the Gandharvas? Because Gandharvas can sing for a long time, and they will sing your glories and I will chant. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Vriksheshwar Pandit, you are my one wing. If I had another wing like you, I will fly in the sky. So that's what Krishna consciousness is about. Whether someone is noticing or someone is not noticing, it does not matter. It just does not matter. What matters then? What matters? Then what matters?
Devotion, bhakti.
Yes. Yeah, I am actually coming from the platform of how much love have I developed for Krishna? Can I die for Krishna? Can I live for Krishna?
Desire to serve.
That matters.
Sincerity in devotion.
Have I developed this strong faith that Krishna is my only maintainer? Krishna is my only protector. Okay? Or am I still being like, I'm not saying I'm at that stage. I'm not, but at least we have this source of, Even the Goswamis, you see, the Goswamis never took sannyas. We have dressed in white, right? Because they were Babajis. Why they never took sannyas? Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, because they had taken service in the court of a Muslim king. Then they thought that this is going to be disrespectful for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are so low born. How can we take such a big, designation of a human life? And other Goswamis, as a respect for Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, didn't take sannyas. So they are in white, right? They're dressed in white. They're Babajis. They're not looking for recognition. They were not leading a very palatial life. They were living under one tree in one night, but they were happy because there was so much condensed love in the heart. Okay, so bhakti is about love. And we cannot develop love if we have knowledge of Krishna. And we cannot have knowledge of Krishna if our mind and senses are purified. We cannot get purification of mind and senses if we are not chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra with the utmost. Prabhupada explains, chant like a cry of a child for its mother. So genuine. Like that, chant like that. If I can chant like that, then everything else will happen. If I'm not, then I'm going to be just dancing under the three modes of material nature. Okay, so this particular verse, Lord Shiva is praying to Krishna as Shakti Traya Sametaya, reservoir of three energies, which is Adidevik, Adibhautik, and Adidevik, Adibhautik, and Adhyatmik, which is Adidevik means Devtas, Adhyatmik means senses, Adibhautik means elements. Midushe Ahankritatmane, source of the true ego. Chetta Akuti Rupaya, Chetta is knowledge, Akuti is karma. Namo Vacho Vibhutaya, source of the pure sound vibration, chanting Hare Krishna. So basically, this verse has to be understood from the last line above. So if we are associating with the proper sound vibration, which is Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then our knowledge becomes perfect. If our knowledge becomes perfect, our activities become perfect. And then our ego becomes perfect or true. And then we are able to recognize all these elements, the three elements, Adhyatmik, Adibhautik, and Adidevik, as Krishna's. Any questions, reflections, realizations, corrections? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, check the chat. If there is nothing, then yes,
Mataji,
Dr. Saxena.
why we are not able to develop that kind of intense love you are talking about towards Krishna?
Yeah, see, that's a lifelong journey, right? So you see, the example is why is a very difficult question. So what can I do to develop that love is more of a progressive question, right? Can you make a difference? Like, what can I do to do that?
Yes, Mataji.
Right?
But
Same question, but one sounds more little bit more progressive. So so far, whatever I have understood, and you can double check with the senior devotees, is that because of the unsteady bhajan kriya. And unsteady bhajan kriya is because of the unwanted habits. Okay, so what are the 9 stages of bhakti? What are the 9 stages? Shraddha, Shraddha, starts with Shraddha.
Sadhu
Prema,
Sangha,
Ruchi.
Nivritti,
Nishta, Prema, Ruchi, Shraddha,
Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha,
Sadhu
Bhajan
Sangha,
Kriya,
Nivritti,
Nishta,
Anartha
Prema,
Nivritti,
Sadhu
Nishtha,
Ruchi.
Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava,
Bhava and
Prema.
Prema.
So,
All right,
unsteady
so
faith could be one reason, Mataji. Unsteady faith.
Bhajan
or
Kriya.
Shraddha, Bhajan
We
Kriya.
are not able to make our Bhajan Kriya, our devotional service, our sadhana bhakti more steady. Okay, and so we are not able to move past. So, okay, I will just stop the light. Okay, maybe I'll draw this. I'll draw it and show you. So we had a nice class on this. And actually, just edited a chapter on this too, so it's fresh in my mind. How do you draw here? So you can't draw, my Krishna.